Hello children, I am Nisha here from Mangala Vidya Mandira. So children, hope you all are doing good. So in this video, we are going to start with a new lesson, that is unit number 9, desert animals. At the same time, I will be covering one more poem in this video, that is what if. So a lesson as well as a poem we are going to learn in this video. So before starting the lesson, can you see the image children, like it's about desert animal. What is the name of the lesson? The name of the lesson is desert animal. So what is desert animal actually? Desert means children like a large area of land, usually you can see in the usually where hot, it's very hot, okay, the place is very hot where there is no water, there is no rain, and the animals who lives there in that desert, they are called desert animals. Especially you are aware of the most common animal, that is camels. Apart from that also, which all animals are living there, today we are going to learn about that. So a small introduction about desert animals. Although deserts are the driest place on earth, there are certain animals that survive in the desert. Means although it is considered as it is the driest place, there is no water, there is no rain, there is no tree, there is no plant, but still the writer is telling there are few animals which survive in that desert also. They use different methods to cope up with the harsh climate. There are some techniques what these animals use to survive in that strong climate, like hot climate. Jabril spend the hottest part of the day in cool underground burrows. So Jabril is an animal, okay. So what it will do, so that animal will just go under the ground and he will make a burrow for him, which will be the coolest place for him. Darkling beetles catch drops of moisture on their legs. They then lift the legs in the air until the drops of water trickle down into their mouths. Camels get water from desert plants. So there is one more insect like darkling beetles. So we'll be learning about all those animals and insects. So what that animal is doing, like they will store the water on their legs and they will lift the leg. At the same time, what will happen children, the drop will start falling into their mouth. So that way they survive in that desert place. Another animal that lives in the desert is the camel. They were tamed by man long ago. Camels get the water they need from desert plants. So how they survive means they get a water from the desert plant which is grown there. They can survive without drinking water up to 10 months. Like for still 10 months, if the camel is not getting water also, they can survive. Camels are of two kinds, dromedary and bacteria. Dromedary camels have one hump. So there are two types of camels, children. One is dromedary, that is having one hump, and the other one is bacteria camel, which is having two humps. These humps are full of fat, which helps them to survive for many days without food and water. They used to collect food and water in their humps, and which will help them to survive for so many days. So that is the small introduction about that lesson. So children, open this one. We'll start with the lesson. Open page number 112 in your textbook Honeysuckle. So let's start with the lesson, children. Deserts are the driest place on earth and sometimes go for months or even years without rain. So here the desert, if you talk about the desert, you will get to know like it is the driest place. I mean, there is no water, there is no rain in the desert. But even the deserts cannot survive without water. But even the desert animals cannot survive without water for a long period in the scorching sun. So what happened, like there are few animals which lives in the desert, but they cannot survive in the scorching sun, means very hot sun. As they had to find different ways of coping with the harsh condition. So they survive. It is not that they won't survive, but they will find a different technique how to survive in this desert area. For example, gerbils spend the hottest part of the day in cool underground burrows. So can you see in the picture, children? Gerbil looks exactly like a mouse, exactly like rat. So his appearance, his body, everything looks like a mouse only, like a rat. So what these gerbil will do, they will found a bureau under the ground, which will be a little cool, and even in the hottest part also they will remain cool and they will survive in that bureau. And strange insects called darkling beetles are experts at catching drops of moisture on their legs, then lifting them into the air until the drop trickles down. Trickles means spread into their mouth. So what the trickling insect will do, as I told you in the introduction, they will collect the moisture drops, means they will collect all the drops which they are getting from the moisture on their legs, and they will lift their leg. Okay, the moment they lift their leg, the drops start coming down into their mouth. So this way they collect they keep on collecting the drops of water on their leg for their survival. Not all deserts are endless seas of rolling sand dunes. Sand dunes means, children, heaps of sand formed by the wind, which is already given the meaning in the textbook. Some are rocky or pebbly and dotted with small bushes, while others are sprinkled with colored flowers during the spring. Sprinkled means scatter. In the scatter into a drop of particles. So here what the writer is telling, like, not all the deserts are endless seas of rolling sand dunes. It means it is not that everywhere you will see the sand dunes only. Some are rocky. I mean, you can find a rock also, as well as you can find a pebble also. And dotted with some bushes, small bushes. You can see small bushes also into the deserts, while others are sprinkled with colorful flowers during the spring. So when spring season will be there, you can see little bit colorful flowers also. There are more than 2,300 different kinds of snakes around the world, ranging from just 15 centimeters long to more than 11 meters. So now here they are talking about 2,300 different kinds of snakes. Okay, so in the entire world you can see there are almost 2,300 different kinds of snakes are there, ranging from, means it starts from 15 centimeters, means the length, the writer has spoken about the length 15 centimeter till 11 meter. That is the size of the snakes. Most snakes are quite harmless, means there are many snakes, but some of the snakes are very harmless. They don't do anything. But there are few that are so poisonous they can kill a human being just with one bite. So what is that? Like, there are many snakes, actually 2,300 snakes are there, different kinds of snakes are there, but few are harmless. They don't do anything to the person, but there are few who are very poisonous, like they just if the snake just have one bit, the person will die. Most snakes lays egg, but there are many which give birth to their young ones. So most of the snakes will lay egg only, but there are few who will give birth to the babies. In the dry, rocky deserts of America, leaves a rather evil-looking snake with a very bad reputation. Means in the country, in American country, in the country which is named America, there are few like this one snakes are there. Who is having a very bad reputation, means very bad system he is having. Its frightens rattle can be heard as far as 30 meters away, and it can strike with lightning speeds. Means it's very aggressive. It's very aggressive, and you can hear the sound also in 30 meters away. But the rattlesnake, or the rattler as it is sometimes called, prefers to avoid people if it is possible. Means the rattlesnake, can you see in the picture the rattlesnake, children? Yes, the rattlesnake, what they will do, they will avoid people. Like if the person is also coming, they will try to avoid people without harming them. It holds its tail upright and rattles the end whenever it is disturbed. So when it got angry, okay, when it get angry, what it will do? It will hold the tail upright. Okay, it will keep the tail up, and whenever it is, means, and the rattles the end whenever it is getting disturbed, in the hope that the intruder, okay, intruder means someone who enters illegally. The person who doesn't, I mean the snake doesn't know the person, the snake doesn't want the person to be here, so unknowingly that person will come. However, if it is warnings are ignored and it feels threatened, it will coil ready to bite. So if a person illegally enters to his place and he avoids that rattlesnake by, like, what he will do, like something he will think in his mind, he will not spare the person. He will definitely bite the person. But the rattler itself control here the noise its own tail makes. So the rattler, what is there like? But the rattler, rattler itself cannot hear. Means when the snake is moving, that snake itself is not able to hear the voice of the tail. Like most snakes, it hears things through vibrations in the ground. Like children, are you aware? Like the most of the time, what happens? The snakes have a sensory power, so they can listen only through the, like if somebody is walking. If somebody is walking in the ground, through that step, through that movement of the leg, movement of the feet, only through the noise what they hear, they can just make it out, okay, someone is coming, because the vibration will be formed in the ground. Through that only they will hear they will sense it, okay, some person is coming. If a person walks nearby, the snake can feel the movement. Like any person who just goes nearby to the snake, with the vibration on the ground, they can sense it, or somebody is coming near to that snake. But if the same person were to shout, it would not hear a thing. Okay, so what happens, like through the vibration in the ground only, the snake can sense somebody is coming, but he can't hear it. Okay, if a person shouts from little far away also, or from little close away also, the snake is not able to understand the sound, because the sensory power is not there. But if the same person were to shout, it would not hear a thing. Right? Rattlesnakes are very common and widespread animals. They are very common and they are spreaded all over here, living right across the American continent from Canada to Argentina. So children, not only in America, even in Canada, from Canada till Argentina, you can find these rattlesnakes. They feed on a variety of prey, including mice, then voles, rats, chipmunks, and many others. So can you see in the picture, vole, chipmunk, rat, python, like many animals picture is there in the image. So these all, they feed, means what they will do, they will eat. Prey means eating, they will kill and they will eat. So they eat all these animals which is shown in the picture. Rattlesnakes kill their prey with venom. So how they kill? The rattlesnake venom is poison, children. So through the help of the poison, they will kill those animals. Like all snakes, they swallow the unfortunate animals whole. So what they will do? The rattlesnake will gulp the entire animal. They will swallow. They will swallow through their mouth. Okay, they will swallow. The entire body of the animal will go inside the snake's body. They will swallow it. Few snakes have to eat more than once in a week, and some, such as a larger portion, can survive for a year or more without eating. Like there are many snakes, as I told you, in that few snakes will live, okay, without eating for a week. But there are few who can survive for a year without eating. They can survive for a year. Mongoose like to hunt together. Now can you see in the picture, mongoose is there. They like to hunt together, but they always keep a lookout for dangerous predators. Okay, like predators, as I told you, is the animal that eat others, and the animal which eats other animal. Okay, nearby, poking their nose into holes, overturning rocks with their paws, and scratching the ground with their sharp claws. Banded mongoose are very amusing animals to watch. Like this is the quality what has been described. Like they will poke their nose into holes, okay, and overturning rocks. They have a quality of moving the rocks also. And with their paws, with their paws are so strong, they can just move the rocks also. And scratching the ground with their sharp claws, they will keep on scratching the grounds with their claws. Banded mongoose are very amazing animals. So it's a very different kind of animals, means it's a very interesting animals. A common sight in many parts, 20 to forage for beetles. Forage means length or extent in feet. Millipedes and other small creatures. They like to hunt together, keeping in touch whenever they go out of sight, being rock or bushes by twittering and calling. So what they will do? These mongoose like to hunt together. They will be always moving together. behind the rocks or the bushes. Wherever they will see the place in the desert, they will like to move together. Always on the lookout for danger, hawks, eagles and large snakes, they warn one another with a special alarm call if they spot anything suspicious. They are so smart, they are so intelligent that if they found that someone is going to attack them or someone is going to come near to them, they will keep a alarm. Special alarm is there where then they will understand that now it is going to be a danger. Mongoose are famous for being able to kill snakes without getting hurt themselves, and it is always said that mongoose and snakes are enemies. They don't get along with each other. So, and it is also said that mongoose can kill snakes without hurting them. So they won't even there won't be any scratch in their body, and they can kill the animals. They can kill the snakes. Their reactions are so fast that they can dodge each time the snake strikes. They continually make a nuisance of themselves until after a while, when the snake gets tired, they quickly dive in for the kill. So what this mongoose will do, they will keep on irritating the snake. Okay, they will keep on moving. The snake will be continuously moving. The snake will be continuously moving here and there, and they will create a big nuisance in the snake's life. And once after that, when the snake will get tired, they will immediately dive on the snake, and the mongoose will kill the snake. All the females mongoose have their kitten in about the same time. They have raised by the whole group in a den made inside an old termite. Termite means the insect which eats the wood. Mount or hollow log. When most of the adults are out looking for food, one or two males stay behind the stand guard until the others returns from the night. Like it is told, like the female mongoose, they all give birth at the same time. Okay, and they are raised in a whole. All the snakes, all the mongoose babies will be raised in a group. Okay, in a group. And it is also said that when most of the mongoose are out, few mongoose like stay at home, so that they can guard the small babies, and they can till the other mongoose return from the night. Means they take care of the babies. Another animals which lives in the desert is the camel. Now children, as you know, camel is a very common animal, which when you listen about a name camel, immediately you will remember the place of a desert only. Camels are first domesticated means pet by people many thousands of years ago. In the wild, camels usually live in small groups up to 30 animals. So camels, even they need a group. They live in a desert, they move in a group only, almost for 30 animals. Camels have long, shaggy means untidy winter coats to keep warm, and shorter, tidier coats in the summer to keep cool. So they have to wear coats, children. They have to wear coats so that their body, in the summer, they will be wearing tidier coats which keeps their body cool. At the same time, in winter, they will wear, in summers, in winter, they will wear different kind of coats. A thirsty camel can drink as much as 30 gallons of water, that is about 500 full glasses. Means a thirsty camel, means a camel who is feeling very thirsty, they can easily drink 30 gallons of water, that is about 500 full glasses, means almost 500 glasses of water in one shot the camel can drink in just 10 minutes. Normally, however, it gets all the moisture it needs from the desert plants and can survive for up to 10 months without drinking any water at all. So normally what happens, children, because of the moisture what he is having, he used to take the moisture from the desert plants, and with that he can survive, the camel can survive almost for 10 months without having water. There are two different kinds of camel. Now children, again there is a bifurcation, like how many kinds of camels are there. So two different kinds of camels are there. One known as a dromedary, that has only one single hump. So can you see in the picture one camel who is having single hump? That camel is called dromedary camel. Other one is what? Bactrian camel, and has two humps. So in the image again you can see two humps. Camel are also there, and one hump camel is also there. The humps help the animal to survive in the desert by acting as storage containers. Okay, so that hump is almost like a storage container for the camel. But they don't store water, as many people wrongly believe they are full of fat. This fat nourishes. That means it is not that in that hump they will be storing the water. Actually, it is full of fat. But they don't store water, as many wrongly believe they are full of fat. This fat nourishes the camels when food is scarce. Okay, the fat which is collected in the hump whenever there is a shortage of food, so that fat helps to survive. This fat nourishes the camels when food is scarce. If they have nothing to eat for several days, their hump shrink as the fat is used up. If the camel is not getting food, children, so what will happen? They start taking food from the hump. So due to that reason, the hump will shrink. It will become small because the fat which is stored there in the hump is used by the camel. There are many other ways in which camels are adapted to desert life. Their mouths are so tough that even the sharp thorn cannot pierce through. Okay, it is also said that the mouth of the camel is very strong. Okay, it's very strong. The mouth of it's very strong. It's very tough that no one can open the camel's mouth. Even the sharp thorn, if you pierce also, they are not going to open the mouth. So this is a small introduction about the desert animals. As I told you, they have different techniques to cope up with the harsh climate. In that, camels are the one who can survive in the desert by taking the moisture from the plants which is grown in the deserts. As we all know that generally deserts are dry and not much water is available there, but still the plants and animals who lived there in a harsh climate starts adapting themselves to it. So that is the reason, children, they survive in that kind of environment also. So this is a story about desert animals. Shall we have a look for the question answers, children? The exercise part, okay? So now here, in that exercise, the very first thing is talk to your partner, say whether the following statements are true or false. Like, no animals can survive without water. So no animals can survive without water. Is it true? Yes, it is true. Deserts are endless sand dunes. False. Then next one is not at all. Most snakes are harmless. That is true. Snakes cannot hear, but they can feel vibration through the ground. That is true. Camels store water in their humps. That is false because it stores fat. The hump does not store water. It is full of fat. This fat nourishes the camel when food is scarce. Answer the following questions. First question is, how do desert animals survive without water? Desert animals cannot survive without water. They find different ways of coping with the harsh desert conditions. For example, like gerbils spend the hottest part of the day in a cool underground burrows, and darking beetles catch moisture on their legs and then lift them into air till the drop trickles down in their mouth. How do mongoose kill snakes? Like mongoose kill snakes without getting hurt themselves. Their reaction are so fast that they dodge each time the snake strikes. So whenever the snake will come and strike them, they will dodge, means they will escape. They will try to escape themselves from there. They continually make a nuisance for themselves, and after a while, when the snake gets tired, they quickly dive in for the kill. Next one. How does the hump of the camels help them to survive when there is no water? The hump of the camel is full of fat, children, which will nourishes the camel when the food is less. If they have nothing for several days also, what will happen? They will start taking the food from the hump, and the hump will start shrinking as the fat is used for the survival. Read the word phrases in the box with your partner. Find their meaning in the dictionary. So in this box there are few words given like harsh conditions, harmless, survive, intruder, threatened, predators, prey continually. So you have to just pick those words and you have to fill in the blanks. Like all animals in deserts, in forest and deserts struggle to survive in harsh condition, though most of the animals are harmless, some are dangerous when threatened. If an intruder is noticed, they attack or bite to save themselves. They struggle continually for food and water. Some animals are called predators because they prey on other animals. Next page, children. Deserts are the driest place on earth. Gerbils spend the hottest part of the day in cool underground burrows. Now here you have to just ask a question. It's a degree, children, superlative degree. You have to make it like positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. So here you have to, one word is given in the bracket, that word you have to convert into superlative degree. Like which animal is the, option is tall, okay? So tallest. Then which animal runs the fastest? Which place on earth is the hottest? This way you have to make it a superlative degree of the given option word in the bracket. Next one. Look at this sentence. Most snake. Okay, look at this sentence. Like few sentences are given here. In that, what we have to use? You have to use most. You have to use most and few. Okay, so like 90% of people are honest, 10% are dishonest. So what you will say, what you will write, you have to use the word most as well as you have to use the word few. Okay, so that both the words you have to mix with the sentence what is given here. So most of the people are honest, but few are dishonest. So wherever in the beginning you have to use most in the beginning of the sentence, and what you have to do, children, you have to use few at the middle of the sentence. But you should remember where to use most and where to use few. That is, next one is fruits. Okay, lots of fruits have plenty of sugar. Then again we have to say most of fruits have plenty of sugar, but few fruits, okay, yeah, citrus fruits are low in sugar. Okay, that way you can say. Next one, most of the soft drink except this one have lots of empty calories. Then most of the films are romances, but a few are on other topics. Most of the people agree that he is a good leader, but few disagree. So in the beginning you have to use most, and in the middle you have to use few. Again, moving to the next main. The first sentence says that what cannot happen to or be done. The second tells us what must therefore be done. What it is necessary to do. Complete the sentences using cannot and have or has. So children, always remember, have means it is more than one person, like we, they. Okay, that time we will be using have. Has means either I, he, she. That time we will be using has. You cannot reach the island by land on air. You have to what is there? You have to go by boat. Okay, you cannot reach the island. So I'm telling you means many will be there. Who all are standing, that I don't know. So here in the initially I have used cannot, and since it is more than one person I have used have to. We cannot. Again here we means many people see bacteria with our eyes. We have to, again we have to use to look at them through a microscope. Now he cannot. Now I am talking about one single person, children. He cannot have a new bicycle. He has to. Okay, since he I have used here, I have to use has to. Old people often cannot hear very well. They have to use a hearing aid. Again, old people. Okay, I am talking about many old people. So that is the reason I have used have to. Road users, we have already learnt in the tenses, grammar tenses, children. The same repetition is here. Road users cannot do without what they wish. They have to follow the traffic rules. Again, road users. Okay, road users means many are there, so have to. She cannot. So now here one person accept this decision. She has to question it. You cannot believe everything you hear. You have to use your own judgment. Okay, so here children we are through with this also. Now, as I told you in this video, we will be having a lesson. We'll be covering a lesson as well as a poem. Okay, so the next main is about a poem. Like what is the name of the poem? Let's have a look, children. The name of the poem is What If. What is the name of the poem? What Is means it's an imagination. Okay, so which is written by Shel Silverstein, who is an American writer, who is born in Chicago on September 25, 1930, and he was a poet, he was a writer, and he was a cartoonist. He died on May 10 at US, and he has worked. His main achievements like are important works are Once on the Way, The Unicorn, I'm Checking Out, etc. These are the poem what he has written. So in this poem we are going to learn, before start this poem, as I have given the short introduction about the poet. Now this is something, a playful presentation of a child who is having fears, who struggles and uncertainty that haunts the poet at night. The poet has imagined himself as a child. All worries and problems are out of control of human beings. We cannot answer every question and possible situation that might happen in our life. So we should focus in our present only to ignore all the worries. Okay. So here the first stanza, we'll start with the first stanza. The poem is about a child who is lying on a bed, okay, worrying about all the things that can go wrong in his life. The child is imagining, okay, he's going to sleep now, he's lying there on the bed. At the same time, he is imagining many things. So in the first stanza only, the poet says that last night, while I lay thinking here, some what ifs crawled inside my ear, okay, crawled inside my ear. Crawled means crept inside my ear, and pranced and partied all night long and sang their same old what if song. Okay, so here pranced means jumped, okay, partied means celebrated. So when the child was sleeping, okay, he was lying, the child was lying on the bed, that time what happened, something has gone in his mind, some weird thought has come into his mind. What is that thought? Like, what if? Means now he started imagining, if it is not there, if it is not there, he started imagining. The poet says this in the previous night when he was trying to sleep, his doubts got into his mind and started disturbing his sleep. Now what he is thinking, that we are going to learn. What if I am dumb in school? Okay, now the poet is telling, suppose if I am dumb in school, so what will happen to me? All will make fun of me. Next he is telling like, what if they have closed the swimming pool? Now the child is wondering, if I am there in the swimming pool, okay, and the school authority have closed the swimming pool, so how I will come out? What if I get beat up? Now he is worried that what if his friends beat him up? What if there is a poison in my cup? Now again the child is thinking that I will be having a milk, okay, and in my cup if there is a poison. That is all his imagination, the poet's imagination. What if I start to cry? What if I get sick and die? Now the child is, what if I just sit and start crying? At the same time I will get some like sickness, like some illness I will get, and something will happen to me, like I will die. What if I flunk that test? Flunk means fail, children, that test. What if green hair grows on my chest? Now the child is telling, if I fail in the test, what I will do? And if the green hair like grows in my chest, on my chest, how ugly I will look. What if nobody likes me? What if a bolt of lightning strikes me? Bolt of lightning means flash of lightning. So the child is thinking, if nobody likes me and the flashlight comes into my just hit my body, what if I don't grow taller? Now the child again is thinking, if I don't go taller, if I remain smaller, what will happen? What if my head starts getting smaller? What if the fish won't bite? Now he is telling, if my head starts becoming so smaller and if I don't grow big, what if will happen? What if the wind tears off my kite? Now he is telling, if the wind blows and it tears my kite, what will happen? What if they start a war? If a war has started between two countries, how I will survive? What if my parents get divorced? Now again he is worried. He is thinking like, if my parents, both the parents will get divorced, how I will survive with them? What if the bus is late? What if my teeth don't grow in straight? Now the child is thinking, if I am going to a school and my bus is getting late, and if my teacher punishes me, what I will do? At the same time, again he is thinking, if the teeth go, if my teeth don't grow, if my teeth doesn't grow and it will remain small only, what I will do? What if I tear my pants? What if I never learn to dance? Now he's thinking, I'm going to the school and my pant got tore. So what I will do? So everyone will make fun of me. What if I never learn to dance? Everything seems swell, and then swim means stylish. Swell means stylish. So he's thinking again, what if I don't learn to dance? So all my friends will make fun of me. Everything swims well and then the night time, what if strikes again? Now again he's thinking in the night time. This all imagination is coming in the night only when the poet is sleeping on the bed. Now he is thinking, if I don't know to dance and all my friends will make fun of me, and what if the strikes again? Means what if they will come and hit me again? So in the end, it shows that poet mind is very disturbed, children. Okay, the poet is having lots of disturbance in his mind, because as soon as one doubt is clear, another doubt comes into his mind. So he's worried the entire night. He keeps on thinking, and he is getting very disturbed. Like, if this happens, if that happens, what I will do? How I can survive in this earth? So those are the worries. What is there in child's mind? So moving to the main, children, what is the next main? The next main is something like who is the speaker in the poem? So the poet itself, like the poetess Shel Silverstein is the speaker in the poem. The speaker is worried about the following happenings. What is the, with your partner you need to discuss, like, what is the happening the speaker is worried about? The speaker is worried about, like, that the speaker will become dumb, it fails in the exam, he got beaten up, the swimming pool is closed, the parents get divorced, and like he gets sick and dies. Many worries are coming into his mind. But most of the worries are like, why do you think she has these worries? Can you think of ways to get rid of such worries? Yes, because most of the time the worries are baseless. It's all the fear which is there in the poet's mind. With a strong willpower, determination, and the right positive attitude in life, you can get rid of such worries. So you should not have so much worries in your life, children. Like, if you have a positive attitude towards the life, these worries will not do anything to you. Read the following line. Some what if crawled inside my car. Okay. Yes. Can word crawl into your ear? This is an image. The poet is trying to make an image of what she experienced. Like, now with your partner, try and list out some more images from the poem. So what you have to do, children, like, our mind remains active throughout our life. It remains active even in the night also, because it is crowded with the things we see during the day and the night time, and the ideas we think and our imaginations will live. We all think in terms of words which create a picture or scene and enter our mind and ears. Actually, sometimes dreams are also action-packed scenes. We talk, we laugh, we weep, we shout also while sleeping at night. So these are the exercise part, children. Hope it's a very interesting poem what you have learned. So in this video we have covered a lesson, desert animal, as well as a poem, what if. So if there is any doubt, children, regarding this lesson as well as the poem, post it in the group. Okay, the homework part I will be sharing later on, as well as what I will do, I will share the PDF notes to you for a kind reference. The summary of the poem. Yes, I will just go through the summary. The narrator's mind is sometimes filled with doubts and fears. At night, such unpleasant situations haunt him. He wonders what will happen if he loses his power to speak, gets beaten up, if someone gets sick and die, or fall in a test. There may be many bad situations that he may have to face in his life. So his mind is full of those fears at every night. Whatever he goes to sleep, he struggles with these doubts and worries. He wants to get rid of these doubts and fears and live his life peacefully. So this was the summary of the poem, What If. So till then, hope children you are clear with the poem as well as with the lesson. So if there is any doubt also, you just post it in the group. So thank you, children. Take care of yourself.